Welcome, Mindsetters, to this grade 12 boot camp session. Guys, you guys have been begging us for this, and it's winter school, and it's here for you guys. So, guys, we're going to be doing things a little bit different. But before we get into that, I'm going to speak to Peter about what we're going to be doing today. What are we doing today, Peter?
Well, obviously mathematical literacy, because that's what it's all about. And today, folk, we're doing a few questions on shape and measurement. So it should be a great
Session.
I think it will be a great session. And it's a lovely day here in Joburg, isn't it?
Yes, warm for a change.
Lovely and warm. I'm walking around in short sleeves. Absolutely fantastic day.
Exactly. So while Peter goes across to the board, I'm going to tell you guys something very, very important you guys need to do, because we're doing things a little different. So guys, what I need you guys to do is go onto the page, and you'll see that there's a special section for the events page. So guys, make sure you go to the events page for the Monday session today, because this is where you guys are going to be able to win your prizes. Guys, also, you can also email at win@learnextra and go on to pep text. So you guys just send in your messages, and guys, you can also SMS now. And the SMS number is 083 44 88810. Take that down. 083 44 88810. So guys, make sure. And you guys can also get a lot of prizes. There's some awesome stuff I'm giving away. So guys, make sure you use that. And Peter, actually take it away.
All right, folks. Jeez, I don't know what that was about. But anyway, while you were talking, I turned around and I saw something on the screen here. Would you mind telling us what's going on here?
Totally. All right, because Peter's old, he doesn't do computers,
I
internet,
don't
and things. Anyway, guys, as I said, go onto the Facebook page. Already on the post, you guys will see the link to the events page. The events here, you guys make sure you click on that, and that'll take you to this page. This is where the challenge question is. So guys, make sure you actually have to post on the challenge question to win to stand a chance to win. So guys, make sure you go to this page and comment underneath. And guys, remember, it's where the code is 2434. And guys, I'm giving away the most awesome prizes. Let me actually grab a couple here. Guys, you can have these CDs, not only the study pack sent to you of your choice. Guys get to win one of these CDs. Awesome stuff from YFM to the We Love Bass compilation. So guys, I cannot stress enough. Make sure you get on the page, get chatting. The events page. Remember, events page. So guys, I'm actually going to get out of the way so Peter can continue with his lesson. And here we go. That's the actual challenge question. So, Pete?
Sure, I don't know what he's talking about. But anyway, welcome, folk. And it's all about mathematical literacy. Now that Ty has spoken about all kinds of weird and wonderful things. All I know is I'm here to teach Maths Lit. And I'm here to start the session off by looking at our challenge question. Right, so let's have a look at it. The volume of a rectangular prism with a length of 5 centimeters and a breadth of 2 centimeters and a height of 10 centimeters is what? A, 100 centimeters squared, B, 160 centimeters squared, or C, 100 centimeters cubed. Okay? And remember, to answer this, you've got to type in some code or something, and the code is 2434. And when you put that in, then we'll look for your answer. Okay, so just to go through it again, the volume of a rectangular prism with a length of 5 centimeters, a breadth of 2 centimeters, and a height of 10 centimeters is A, 100 centimeters squared, B, 160 centimeters squared, or C, 100 centimeters cubed. Okay, great prizes to be won, like Ty said. There's some funny, weird, and wonderful CDs there that you youngsters will absolutely love. Okay, but the greatest prize, I think anyway, is the phenomenal T-shirt. Have you shown them the T-shirt? Yeah, come stand here with me, Ty. Let's have a look at this T-shirt. You've got to open it up wide so we can see. Learn Extra Mindset. What a phenomenal T-shirt to actually win.
Exactly.
That's really great. Okay. I actually still don't understand how come I never got one, but I'm not questioning it. I'm just making it public on live TV. I never got a T-shirt. All right. I need one. Hopefully, if I answer the challenge question right, I will win too. Right, folk, enough of that. Let's get on with our question today. So what we're going to do is we're going to be looking today at perimeters, at areas, and at volumes, and all kinds of phenomenal questions. Now, here's a question which I really, really enjoy, but it's quite challenging. Hey, it's a real paper 2 type question. Let's have a look at it. Consider the garden shown below. The first picture shows the outlay of a grass patch in the backyard of someone's home. The second sketch below gives the dimensions of that grassed area. Calculate what the grass cost the owner if a roll of grass cost 15 Rand 75. Each roll covers 37,500 centimeters squared. Okay, folk, a few things here which we've got to make or got to underline because they're pretty important. Firstly is this: one grass roll cost 15 Rand 75, and each roll covers 37,500 centimeters squared. Now let's have a look at that picture at the bottom of your screen. You can actually see that we've got a wonderful little backyard there. It's nice, small, cozy, not a lot of work to keep it going, but there's this wonderful grassed area. Now what we're going to do is we're going to just have a look at the grassed area. Okay, now the grassed area seems to have totally disappeared off our sketch here. Let's try and find it on the next one. Okay, let's go. No, it's disappeared. So I'm going to try and put in all the little bit of measurements, and hopefully we're going to be able to try and make sense of the question. Okay, so first of all, when I look at this whole grassed area, I'm going to see that, and let's use yellow, I think that might be great. I'm actually going to see that I've got a rectangle over here, okay? There's a rectangle. I haven't drawn it properly, but it's there. I have a little rectangle over there, and then I've got a bit of a circular kind of shape, almost a quarter of a circle. Now what I need to do is I need to know what all these measurements are. So I think there was a bit of a measurement. No, not quite. All right. So while we're sorting that out, what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to tell you this. So when I get a complex question like this, we're going to break that question or the whole question up into little bits. Okay, so the first thing is this. Although I've got this huge grass shape, okay, the truth is I've got different little shapes. And guys, if I can take that question and break that question up, got a big, humongous, weird shape, but I'm going to identify shapes that I'm used to, like a rectangle, like a circle, or a semicircle, or even quarter of a circle, or like a little triangular shape. Okay, because once I'm dealt with these little shapes, and once I've got these shapes and I can work with them, then I can put these little shapes together and make a weird looking type of shape. But although it's weird looking, it's actually made up of rectangles and triangles and circles or semicircles or quarter circles. Okay, so that is the important thing to understand when I get a question like that. Now, we're going to come back to that question later on in the show, but let's keep going. Okay, firstly, let's just have a look here. All right, we have definitely seemed to have picked up a slight hassle where all our diagrams have disappeared off our actual board behind me. Mm-hmm. So I think what we should do is we're going to take a quick little ad break. I'm going to sort out the problem, try and find these diagrams, and then we can get on and answer all the questions.
Exactly. So guys, while we're going on the ad break, make sure you get familiar with the events page. That's where you guys can win these awesome prizes. And guys, these awesome textbooks of your choice when you win. So guys, make sure you go on the page and post. Guys, we're going to see you after this break. Welcome back, Mindsetters. I hope you're ready for the session. And I know, guys, you better be following the drill. You know, get your pens, pads, and papers out and make sure you're writing notes. This is so important. Winter School is for you guys. But right now, I'm going to hand over straight to Peter. Peter, take it away.
Right, welcome back, folk. And we're sorry about that little glitch before the ad break there. But we've got it all under control, so let's get going. Back to this phenomenal question, a real paper 2 type question. Why? Because it's going to involve a whole lot of steps, okay? It's actually quite complicated. Let's have a look at it. So consider the garden shown below. The first picture shows the outlay of a grass patch in the backyard of someone's home. The second sketch below gives the dimensions of the grassed area. Calculate what the grass cost the owner if a roll of grass cost 15 Rand 75, and each roll covers 37,500 centimeters squared. Okay, and that's the picture. Lovely looking garden, absolutely stunning, not too big, nice and small, you can cope with it, but it's this grassed area, folk, that we're trying to deal with. This whole lovely green thing that you see on the screen. Now what we've done is we've taken that grassed area and we've redrawn it for you. So this is what that grassed area actually looks like. Okay, now, few things we've got to understand. If I drew a line, and I'm going to try and draw a relatively straight line, here we go, okay, and I were to draw this line all the way down here, what you will notice is that over here, this huge area, I've got a rectangle. I feel like a weatherman here showing this, okay. But here is a wonderful rectangle. If I drew another line across here, okay, I've got another little rectangular area. And then over here, I've got like, well, it looks like some part of a circle. And that's exactly what it is. It's a quarter of a circle. Now, guys, you know the formula for circle, and when you're trying to find areas, all right? And even if you're trying to find perimeters, and even if you're trying to find volume of a sphere, so a quarter of that circle must be divided by 4. Okay. Now, let's go on. Let's just grab a lovely pen here. So what I'm going to say is this, that I'm going to find the area of this whole grassed area. So I'm going to find the area of that big rectangle, the area of the little rectangle, and the area of my quarter of a circle. When I've found the individual areas, I'm going to add them up and come up with a final area and try and find out exactly how big that grassed area is, because then I've got to try and figure out how much grass do I need in order to put this, to pave this whole area with grass. Okay, so let's have a look at it. I'm going to do it on my diagram, folks, so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to say, okay, my area for a rectangle we know is length times breadth. Oops, that went wrong. Length times breadth. Now, how long is this rectangular part over here? It's actually 4,5 meters long. Multiplied by the breadth, okay? How wide is this part over here? Do we know how wide it is? Let's have a look. Yes, we do. There it is. 2,25 meters. So 2,25 meters over there. Okay, then we're just going to have to multiply it all out. All right, so I'm going to find a little calculator, a very simple basic calculator. Why? Just because I want to, and we're hoping it's going to come up. Is it going to come up? Ty, you know how to do these things. There we are. So I've got 4.5 multiplied by 2.25 equals, and my answer is 10,125.
10,125
meters squared. Okay, so that's the area of that big rectangle. Now we're going to find the area of the tiny little rectangular area over here. And we know that the area of a rectangle is length times breadth. So let's do that. We're going to say, okay, area is equal to length times the breadth. What is the length of this area? Now this involves a lot of thinking, okay? And we've really got to use our thought processes here. So let's look. From this point here, all the way down, can you see this green line? Okay, that is 2,75 meters. Now my radius is 1,25 meters, this radius. Now, folk, if that radius is 1,25 meters, then this part of the line is also 1,2 meters. So, what is the length of this line? It must be my 2,75 minus my 1,2. So, I'm going to say the length is 2,75 minus 1 comma 2 multiplied by the breadth. How wide is that rectangle? Guys, it's the same width as let's just put that in its right place. It's the same width as the radius, which is 1 comma 2 meters. So let's do this on our calculator. We had a calculator here somewhere. There we go. So I'm going to say, right, on my calculator, I'm going to say I've got 2.75 minus, no, that was a minus 1.2, and I get an answer of 1,55. Multiply that by 1.2, and I get my area 1,86. So I've got an area of 1,86 meters squared. Always remember, area, meters squared. Volume, meters cubed. Now that little hint might have helped you with the question that we gave to you, the challenge question. All right, I'll repeat that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. What? Say no more. Area, meters squared, or centimeters squared, or millimeters squared. Volume, cubed. Okay. Anyone answering these questions? Are we getting lots of people?
We're actually getting quite a lot of responses, and I'm pretty excited about this. I can't wait till that last segment of the show.
Well, hopefully that little hint has helped you. Now you're going to quickly correct your answer and give the right one. Okay, so we got the area of our big rectangle. We got the area of our little rectangle. Now let's find the area of this funny little circle thing, which we've already established is a quarter of a circle. Now, folk, what is the area of a circle? The area of a circle is pi, let's try that again, pi times r squared. But I'm going to divide it by 4. Why am I dividing it by 4? Because I only want a quarter of the area, not the whole area. Okay, so pi is 3,14. And guys, please use that 3,14. Okay, it's the latest thing in the exams. It's been around for quite a while in the Maths Lit exams, where the examiners will actually say, don't use pi on your calculator, use 3.14. And if your examiner tells you to do that, then you've got to do that. Right, times radius squared. What's my radius? 1,2 meters, and we squaring it. Okay, equals, and then we divide by 4, hey, after all that. Don't forget that. Equals. So what's that going to give me? Out comes our calculator. And we're going to clear it. And I'm going to say I've got 1.2 times 1.2 equals 1.44. Multiply that by 3.14. Okay. Get an answer of 4,5216, but I don't want the whole circle, only a quarter. So we're going to divide by 4. And that's exactly what we do. Divide by 4 equals, and I get an answer of 1,1304. 1,1304 meters squared. All right. So we found all our little bits of area. Guys, let's add it all up. Okay, so we've got 1,86 with my calculator. Right, that was 1,8. Oh, well, we've got 1,1304. Let's leave that. Plus this area of 10,125 plus the area of the little rectangle, which was 1,86 plus 1.86 equals, and we get a total area of 13,1154.
13,1154.
Cool. And the units were meters. So it's in meters squared. Okay, so now we found the area of the garden. Now let's go back right to the top of that question and actually find out what they're wanting us to do. So when we go all the way up, it said there, do you remember? Calculate what grass cost the owner if a roll cost 15 Rand 75. But have a look at this, please. Each roll covers 37,500 centimeters squared. It's not meters squared. But our answer, when we added up all those areas, we got meters squared. And folks, that could be hugely problematic in an exam. So we've got to change those meters squared into centimeters squared. Why? Because then we're able to work out how many rolls of grass we actually going to need. Okay, so got to change it to centimeters squared. Now, sure, matrics battle with this one, hey? Every single year we mark exam papers, and every single year we find matrics making the same error, time after time after time after time. Guys, how many centimeters in a meter? Do you know, Ty? How many centimeters in a meter?
100.
Absolutely right. Okay, there are 100 centimeters in a meter. So what we would normally do, if I'm changing meters to centimeters, we would multiply it by 100. But because we're dealing in area, because we're dealing in meters squared, do you see this little 2? Let's put it in a different color. Meters squared. That little squared tells me this, that when I convert, I'm not just going to multiply by 100 once, but I'm going to multiply by 100 twice. So I'm going to say it's times 100 times 100 again. Okay? If I was dealing with volume, let's say I had meters cubed and I wanted to change it to centimeters cubed, what would I do? I would say times 100 times 100 times 100 again. I would do it 3 times because I'd have cubed. And little 3 says, hey, multiply it by 3 times, boy. Okay? Squared says, hey, multiply it twice. So we multiply it by 100, multiply it by 100. So we're going to keep this on our calculator, and so that's why I'm just going to do it. We all know the answer to this, but let's do it anyway. Times 100 times 100. And what do we get? We land up with an answer of 131,000, let's just get a pen, 131,154 centimeters squared. Now that I have it in centimeters squared, I can now determine how many rolls of grass I need. How can I do that? Well, we're told that each roll of grass covers 37,500 centimeters squared. So once I've got my area, which I've got, I'm going to divide it by 37,500 to determine how many rolls. So let's do that. So we're going to say here, divided by 37,500 centimeters squared. And this is going to tell me how many rolls of grass I need. So divided by 37,500 equals, and voila, I need 3,49, what's it say, 3,49744 rolls. Now, let's just stop there for a minute, okay? Again, this is another concept so many matrics battle to understand. Because so many matrics will say, right, I need 3,49744. Will you remember that? 39?
Comma.
3, wait, my help has not got
497. Yeah, 497.
Okay, let's try that
again.
3, whoops, let's get a pen again.
3,49774.
Cool. Right, 3,4977, something like that. But here's the main thing I want to get across to you. Folk, you cannot go and buy something of a roll. Okay? That's like walking into a shop, seeing a slab of chocolate and saying, oh, I don't feel like the whole thing. Tell you what, only taking part of it. And you break it off and you go off to the teller and you say, here we go, I want to buy this. And she's going to look at it and say, have you eaten half of it? And you say, no, the other half's back on the shelf. I only want this half. Okay? They're going to look at you and say, you're totally bonkers, right? Because you're not allowed to do that. In the same way, Ty, this was a great thing. I walked into the shop the one day, and there was a absolute special. It said, buy one, get one free. And I thought, I don't want to buy one. I just want the free one. So I took one and went to the teller, stood there, and she started to scan. I said, what are you doing? She says, I've got to scan. I said, no, this is the free one. You had a sign, buy one, get one. I don't want to buy one. I just want the free one. So it caused a bit of consternation. Manager arrived, police came. It was just ugly. Okay, so you can't do that. And in the same way, folks, we cannot buy part of something. So where it's 3,4977 of a roll, I've got to say, you know what? That actually means I've got to buy 4 rolls of actual grass. Okay. And how much is each roll? Well, let's have a look at it. Each roll, we were told, is 15 Rand 75. So I'm going to say times 15 Rand 75. Absolutely. And then my calculator is going to do the work for me. I'm going to clear that. Say 4 multiplied by 15 Rand 75 equals, and there's my
63.
answer, 63 Rand. Okay. All right. Now, obviously, whoever put this question together bought grass a very, very long time ago.
Yes.
Okay. Because you're not just going to pay 63 Rand to do a bit of grass. Are we okay with this, folk? All right. There was a lot of work here, hey? Jeez, it was a lot of work. But you know, the great thing was when you break it up and do bits and bits and bits, you put it all together and it works out fine. Okay, I'm told we've got to take a break.
I think so. Mindsetters, as I keep telling you, there's some awesome prizes to win. So guys, make sure you get on the Facebook events page for today's show. And guys, also you can email win@learnextra. Remember the code though. The code has to be there. And guys, you can also SMS on 08344888810. So guys, make sure you can also go on Peptex. It's free. So guys, post and win. It's for you. But guys, make sure you answer that challenge question. But for me, I'm going to see you guys just now. Welcome back, Mindsetters. I hope you guys were paying attention during those ad breaks, because if you noticed, guys, the challenge question is in the ad breaks as well with the codes. So guys, from now on, also pay very close attention to those ad breaks, because guys, you can win these awesome CDs. For instance, this YFM CD has got TKZ, it's got Bricks, it's got Fisherman, DJ Cleo, all of their best hits. So guys, make sure you guys keep posting on those, on the events page and on Peptex. And guys, email in, SMS. Guys, these prizes, I'm trying to give them away. I've got awesome t-shirts, you want to be rocking one of these. Winter School, come on. And guys, let us know what you guys are thinking about Winter School. Just post up your comments. Tell us if you're loving it, if there's places that you guys want us to make sure we go through. Guys, if you need help, guys, keep posting. And also guys, I have these awesome books to give away. I know this is physical science, but don't worry about that. I've got maths literacy ones too. So guys, make sure you get on the events page. But for me, I'm gonna hand over to Peter. Peter, take it away.
Ty, I want to tell you something very interesting. I actually got an email the other day from a 72-year-old woman.
Okay.
Who has decided after all these years she would like to do mathematical literacy as a matric subject. She's 72 years old. And while you were showing up those CDs, I suddenly thought of her and thought, my goodness, do you have any opera or any classical music or something that's for the older generation?
I'm pretty sure I can get my hands on a couple.
I'm sure you would, hey? Okay, so, my dear friend who's 72 years old, if you're watching and you enter, we'll make a special treat for you, because this boom, boom, bash, bash stuff is just too much for us old folk. Okay, folk, we're dealing with shape and measurement. And one of the things we're going to be looking at as well, part of the shape and measurement is to look at maps and be able to look at this horrific thing called scale. And oh my word, matrics make a mess of it every single year in the final matric paper. So I thought we're going to take a bit of time and look at a question with scale and look at a map and try and figure out the real distance in real life from looking at a map. Okay? But before we even get there, sometimes in paper one, you could be given a very, very easy question, and that's to do with direction. All right. So if I were to look at this question, it says, in which direction would you be traveling if you were driving from Klerksdorp to Johannesburg? Okay, before we even look at the map, let's just recap very quickly our different directions. And for you guys at home, remember, you don't have to get too complicated. If you do geography, it does get a little more complicated for you, but the basics are this. First of all, we have to have a north and a south, and then we have to have a west and an east. Okay? We all know north is up, we all know south is down. West and east, believe it or not, we still get some students who get confused about that. And remember, it must spell the word we. W-E. Okay. Then, the points in between there, we get northeast, southwest. Over here, we're going to get southeast and northwest. Right, so remembering to write that again. Again, a lot of students call that west-south or east-south. Remember, north and south are your most important 2 points. When you've got those 2 points, okay, then everything else revolves around it. So, northeast, northwest, southwest, southeast. And I'm sure you understand that. Now, please understand that will never come into a paper 2, okay? Only a paper 1. But in paper 1 is just as important as paper 2 because that's where you can get a lot of fun marks. So we're trying to find out now the direction if we're traveling from Klerksdorp to Joburg. So where are we starting? We're starting in Klerksdorp and we're going to Joburg. All right, so here's our map. Have a look at it quickly, familiarize yourself with it. Can you find Joburg? Of course you can. Here it is right over here. Okay, and can we, let's use a different color because that's not going to show. There's Joburg, and can we find Klerksdorp? Yeah, right over there. Okay, now if I'm going from Klerksdorp to Joburg, I'm going to travel in this direction over here. Now, what is this direction? This direction is going to be north, easterly direction. Very simple, very basic question, but guys, those are the questions which just keep clopping up your percentages, and you're going to try and get as close as you can to an A. And if you know you're going to get an A, keep trying to get into the 90s. And it's fun little questions like this that guarantee you that. All right. Now, my next question is this, and this is a lovely paper 2 question. And I love questions like this. I really do. Using the scale provided, determine how many kilometers a Boeing 737, which is a type of plane, would fly if it flew from Cape Town to Durban and then on to Johannesburg. Okay, so we're going from Cape Town to Durban and on to Joburg. So let's draw a straight line if we can. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to try and draw it in green. Hopefully that'll come out. So we're a pilot. We're getting in the plane. And I get instructions. Take off from Cape Town, please. Fly on to Durban. And that's what I'm going to do. So I leave from Cape Town and I'm going all the way up to Durban. Right. Now, once I'm in Durban, I've now got to go on to Johannesburg. So I now start from Durban all the way to Joburg. I drew the line the wrong way, sorry. So from Cape Town to Durban, then from Durban on to Johannesburg. And the question is, how far have I traveled? And it goes on to say, use the scale that's provided. Now, let's have a look at the scale. If we look here at the bottom of our map, here we go, we can see a scale. And we told that the distance from this line over here all the way to that line is 500 kilometers. Now, guys, whenever we're dealing with scale, I have a rule for all my students. And the rule is this. You've got to, you have to, you must write down the following. Watch carefully. Map, ... real life. Why do I do that? because in my mind, I've got to sort out straight away what numbers represent real life and what numbers represent the distance on the map. Okay. Now, I'm told that this distance from this first line to the second line represents 500 kilometers in real life. So I know that something represents 500 kilometers. What represents 500 kilometers? I have a ruler. Let's measure this distance. So I'm going to measure the distance from that point all the way through, and I'm getting around about 19.5 centimeters. So I'm going to say 19.5 centimeters represents 500 kilometers. Okay. Now, it's kind of difficult for me to measure it on the screen behind me because I've got a big screen and weird and wonderful things happen when I try and measure. Just now when I try to measure, you will notice that this line just started floating around here. Okay? On your exam paper, no lines are going to start floating around. You're going to be able to be as accurate as you possibly can. And so when I try to measure it, I got around about 19.5 centimeters. Represents what? 500 kilometers in real life. Now, do you notice what I've done here? I've said the map is 19.5 centimeters. In real life, it's 500 kilometers. Now, I want to know how far am I going to fly if I fly from Cape Town to Durban and then on to Joburg. So what's the first thing I'm going to have to do? The first thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to measure that distance. So let's do this. Okay. So with my ruler, I'm going to put it down in Cape Town, and I'm going all the way to Durban, and I get round about 48.5 centimeters. Okay? So I'm going to write that here, 48.5 centimeters. Now, I'm not going to my map because I want to add up these distances. Okay? So now let's measure my distance from Durban to Joburg, and we're going to add it from Cape Town to Durban. So again, using my ruler, I'm going to put my ruler down, measure it, and I get approximately 16 centimeters. Now, just very, very quickly, where or how do I measure if my Durban has a big circle and my Cape Town has a big circle and my Joburg has a big circle? Where do I measure? I take my ruler and I put it in the center of that circle. Okay? Don't just touch the outside of the circle, put it to the center of the circle. Can you see? Okay? To the center, not touching. And that's what I've done. So we got that distance, and what did I say it was? 16.5 centimeters. Ty, were you listening to me? About 16.5 centimeters. Okay, great. So we've got another 16.5 centimeters. Right. So what's the total distance flown according to the map? Well, we're just going to add that, aren't we? And we're going to take out our calculator, and we were going to say 48.5 plus 16.5, and we get an answer then of 65 centimeters. Okay, so we've got 65 centimeters in total from from Cape Town to Durban and up to Joburg. 65 centimeters. So I'm going to say, well, if I have 65 centimeters on the map, how much do I have in real life? So the one thing I said, I always tell my students, every single time, is this. Always, when you're dealing with scale, have map, real life. And the next thing I tell them, which is just as important, is always find one of something. Okay? So if I know 19.5 centimeters and I want to find 65, before I can find how far 65 centimeters is, let's find out what 1 centimeter is. So I've got 1 centimeter. Now, how did I get that 19.5 to 1? I divided it by 19.5. And I'm going to do the same on this side. So I'm going to say this is 500 divided by 19.5. Cool? How did I get the 1 to be 65? I multiplied by 65. So what am I going to do this side? I'm going to take this 500 over 19,5 and multiply it by 65. So let's do that. We've got, let's clear our calculator. Fraction button, I've got 500 over 19.5. Multiplied now by 65, and I get an answer of 1,666,66. So we'll write that down, 1,666,666, or 67 kilometers. So my pilot, flying from Cape Town to Durban and on to Joburg, has flown a total of 1,666,67 kilometers. Now, I know that sounds like a little distance, because if I had to travel from Cape Town, all the way to Durban, that in itself will be around about that distance. But remember, when you're flying in an aeroplane, you're going direct. So you're not following all the little turns and little crescents and little turn lefts and rights. You're just going straight, okay? You fly straight, like my mother-in-law's driving. Just go straight. Start here, you see your destination, and away you go. All right. And so that's how now we get the 1,666,67 kilometers. Two important things. And guys, you got to remember. I get so angry with my students if they don't do this. I started off by saying map to real life, just so that I know what figures represent the distance on the map and what figures represent the distance in real life. Step 1. Step 2, always find how far is 1 unit. Okay? So you're either finding 1 centimeter on the map is how many kilometers in real life, or 1 kilometer in real life is how many centimeters on the map. Okay, always try and find 1 before you try and find the whole answer. Ty, how are things going? Any questions out there before I go on to the next question?
I wouldn't necessarily say there's questions yet, but they have been attacking that challenge question hard. So I'm definitely excited. I can't wait to give these CDs away.
Okay, how many people have answered more or less?
So far, we've had 8 comments.
Only 8 people.
It's
I thought you said there
people
were lots.
People getting used to it. The thing is, people have been posting on the page, but not actually following the instructions, as in posting on the actual question comment itself.
Okay, I think you
So
should
that's
repeat
where
that again before we take an ad break.
So guys, make sure, don't just post on the page, post on the actual comment where you see the question. That's how you stand a chance to enter the competition and win. So guys, make sure, again, pay attention during these ad breaks, because that's where the challenge question is again. So guys, do not go anywhere. We will see you after this. Welcome back, Mindsetters. Hope you had a nice little break. You guys have gone and done whatever you need to go to the bathroom, whatever, so you don't move, because we still have more to go through. And guys, cannot stress enough. Get on the events page. Get SMSing. Email. And guys, you can win these awesome prizes. Guys, post. And guys, you can stand a chance to win one of these awesome t-shirts and be like us, the presenters, matching, doing the thing, went to school. It's all fun. And guys, don't be afraid to keep posting. Tell us what you're thinking. If you're lost anywhere, if you need help, guys, both pages are active. So guys, I cannot stress enough, keep on posting. And guys, SMS 08344888810. And guys, also email win@learnextra.co.za. Guys, these prizes are for free. All you have to do is enter and you can get one. And that's where I'm going to now stop and tell Peter to continue.
All right, and just before the ad break, I told you that we only had 8 people who'd replied. Well, that's not really true. We've had over 50 people replying, because we've got people on SMSs, we've had people on
emails.
What's that?
Emails
As well. That fine. Gee, all this technology confuses me. All right. Okay, folks, but back to my job. My job here is to get through a few more questions on space and measurement. Let's have a look at this one. A bag of ready mixed cement makes 0.027 meters cubed of concrete. Now we know that volume is equal to length times breadth times height when we deal with a rectangular prism. So a rectangular concrete pathway, 12 meters long, 0.6 meters wide, and 0.1 meters deep, needs to be laid, as shown in the diagram below. Calculate the volume of concrete in meters cubed required for this pathway. Guys, a really, really, really good question, or paper one type of question, okay? Nothing difficult about it, straightforward. So what's actually happened is someone's got some concrete and it's ready mixed concrete. I didn't know you could get that stuff, you know. In good old days when I was growing up, you had to mix the cement and the stones and the sand. Nowadays you can buy a bag and it's all done for you already, which is really makes life easy. And what we're wanting to do is we are wanting to actually concrete a whole driveway, or is it a driveway? A pathway. Okay, so calculate the volume. And guys, nothing difficult about it. Why not? Because we're given the formula. And we're told that volume is equal to the length times the breadth times the height. Okay, now we've got these measurements on my diagram, so it's straightforward. We know the length of my pathway is 12 meters. We know the breadth of my pathway is 0.6 meters. And we know the height of, or the depth that I'm going to make that pathway. So I'm going to make the concrete 0.1 meters deep. Gee, that's not very deep at all. Okay, so 0.1 meters deep. Now, all we're going to do is we're going to slap that into our calculator. And we're going to bring our calculator up. And we're going to say, okay, so I've got 12 multiplied by 0.6 multiplied by 0.1 equals, and my answer is 0.72. 0.72 what, people? 0.72 meters cubed. Okay? Why cubed? Because we're dealing with volume. All right. I'm almost guarantee you I know what the next question is. I bet. Well, let's have a look what it says. It says, how many bags of ready mixed cement will be required for the pathway? So I need to concrete an area, a volume area. A volume area? Is there such a thing? What a load of rubbish. I need to pour concrete into a volume of 0.72 meters cubed. I am told that one bag will fix what? Here we go. 0.027 meters cubed. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to say, let's take that. We're going to divide it by 0.0, was it? 27 or 72? Here we go. What was 0.27 meters cubed. Now, when I do that, I'll know exactly how many bags I need. So, we've got our answer there already. Divided by 0.027 equals, and my answer is 26,666 reoccurring. 26,666 reoccurring. Now, folk, this 26,6666 is a slight problem because you can't go into a shop, and we had this just before the ad break, and like say, oh, I want some cement, but I don't need the whole bag. I only need 0.6666 of a bag. So I'm going to open the bag or take some cement out and walk out with it. Not allowed to do that. So if I need 26,66, I'm going to need 27 bags of ready-made concrete. Okay? Straightforward, nothing difficult. Here's a question that one of my students asked me. Here we've got 26,66 bags, okay? And we've rounded it to 27. What would happen if the answer was 26,01? Would I still have to get 27 bags, or could I get away with the 26 bags? Guys, if we said round to the nearest whole number, your answer would be 26. But we didn't say round to the nearest whole number. The question was, how many bags do I need? Now, have a look at this. If I take 26 bags, there's part of my concrete or part of my paveway that I'm not going to be able to have paved with concrete. A small little patch, just a tiny little patch, but you know what? The job is still incomplete. All right? Imagine having a pathway, and suddenly now you pave it and you don't have enough concrete. And you say, well, gee, I don't want to buy a whole bag just for this little patch, so I'm just going to leave a hole right here. Okay? If you're doing it for a client, you're going to have a very, very, very upset client. Okay? You got to finish the job, people. Even if you buy another bag, you're going to have a whole lot of the bag left over, but you know what? At least the job's complete. Do you understand that? So this kind of question wasn't round to the nearest whole number or round to do 2 decimal places. In fact, it didn't even ask you to round. The question was, how many bags? How many complete bags do I need? And even if I've got comma 1, I still need a whole bag. Are we all right on that? Great. Let's move on to our next question. Right, a worker is employed to make triangular placements as shown by the right angle triangle PQR in the diagram below. All right, so here we have someone, and they decide they're going to make some placemats, and they're going to make rectangular placemats. That's very different. I haven't really seen rectangular placemats. I normally see rectangular, not triangular. I normally see rectangular placemats or circular placemats. But here someone's making a triangular placemat. Okay, calculate the area in square meters of one placemat. Okay, now folk, here is a little bit of a trick. Let's have a look at it. Look at these units. Look at these units. And then look at these units. Okay, what do you notice? Our diagram is giving us units in millimeters. The question is asking us things in meters squared. And so what I'm going to say to you is, oi, let's change those millimeters to meters. Okay? Let's make the change right up front. Okay. So I've got 400 millimeters. Let's write that down. 400 millimeters. How many millimeters are there in a meter? Well, I know there are 10 millimeters in a centimeter, and there are 100 centimeters in a meter. So it's like saying 400 divided by 1,000. Let's do that on our calculator, shall we? So we're going to clear the calculator. We got 400 divided now by 1,000. There we go. And my answer is going to be 0,4 meters. So I know this distance is 0,4 meters. Let's just find a pen. 0,4 meters. What is this distance? Also 0,4 meters. Okay. Now that we've got our units all in meters, we can now find area, and our answer will be in meters squared. So let's do that. So area is going to be, area is half times the base times the height. Half times, what's my base? 0,4 meters, multiplied by my height, which is 0,4 meters, equals, and we zap out the calculator, and we say, okay, here we go, 0,4 times 0,4 times a half equals, and my answer is going to be 0,08. 0.08. 0.08 what? 0.08 meters squared. Okay? Because we're finding the area. I'm going to do that question again. But this time, I'm going to do it as though I hadn't picked up that the answer has to be in meters cubed or meters squared. I'm going to pretend I'm just calculating it in millimeters. And let's see what happens. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say, right, my area is a half times the base, which is 400 millimeters, times the height, which is also 400 millimeters, equals, let's take out this calculator, and we're going to say a half multiplied by 400 multiplied by 400 equals, and my answer is 80,000. Okay? But 80,000 what? 80,000 millimeters squared. Here's another thing I always tell my students to do. I always say to them, guys, when you finish answering your question, okay, read the question again and make sure your answer is actually the answer to the question. So let's have a look at it. Calculate the area in square meters. I don't have square meters. I have millimeters squared. So I've got to change it to meters squared. So what are we going to do? Now we're going to say 80,000 divided by, okay, how many millimeters in a centimeter? 10. How many centimeters in a meter? 100. So it's like divided by 1,000. But because it's area, and we had a question like this earlier on as well, because it's area, there's a little squared, which means you're not just going to divide it by 1,000, but you're going to divide it by 1,000 and then 1,000 again. If it was volume, what would you do? You divide it by 1,000, divide it by 1,000, and again by 1,000. Divide by 1,000. Okay, so we've got an answer on our calculator of 80,000. We're going to divide it by 1,000. We're going to divide it again by 1,000. And what's our answer? 0,08. And it's the exact same answer as that, isn't it? Well, it has to be because it was the same question. 0,08 meters squared. Okay. Guys, those conversions cause huge problems in matric, and you really need to practice them. Practice, 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 practice. And there's no better way of practicing than by using our maths mindset Mathslit little booklets. Okay, you've seen us advertise them. They're on the web, I think, Ty. And
Yes,
they
they're
tell you how to
available
get
on
hold
the
of
actual
them.
Mindset page, actual Mindset website. Yes.
Okay, so they're on the website as well. You can get a hold of us. If you need to order them, let us know, or you can actually download them. Guys, fantastic practice tools. Okay, practicing things like this, which so many matrics make a mess up in their finals. Okay, back to our placemat. Calculate the length in meters of diagonal QR of the placemat. Now, I'm not even going to look at the diagram. I'm not even going to look at the question. I'm going to look at one thing here. Round to 1 decimal place. Now, guys, as soon as they tell you round to 1 decimal place, it tells you that you're not going to get a perfect answer here. Your answer is going to be comma, something, 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 something. Okay? And so you are going to have to round it off. Examiners are like your friends, hey? Read in between the lines. If I read a question and my examiner said, hey, round to 1 decimal place, I'm expecting my answer to be a horrible comma, something, something, something. Okay, so what are we asked to do? We are asked to find this length of QR. We know the placemat is a triangular in shape, and we know it's a right angle triangle. Because it's a right angle triangle, we can deal with Pythagoras, and here is Pythagoras' theorem right there. Okay, so let's have a look at that. So we're going to say, right, our placemat QR, or the length of QR, was it QR? Yeah, there it is, QR. So the length of QR, and it's Pythagoras, so we're squaring it, okay, is equal to, now we do want it in meters, so how far was the length of our side? It was 400 millimeters or 0,4 meters. Remember, we changed that beforehand, hey? So let's go back here. So we've got 0,4 meters squared plus 0,4 meters squared. And our calculator is going to do that job for us. It's going to say, I've got 0.4. We're going to square it. Plus 0.4. We're going to square it. Equals. And we get an answer of 0,32. So our answer is 0,32 meters squared. But folk, we haven't found out the length, eh? Not at all. What have we done? We found the length squared. We found QR squared. We don't want the square, we just want the length. So what's the length going to be? Well, how do we get QR squared to be QR? We square root it. So what am I going to do with this 0.32? I'm going to square root it. So I'm going to say, right, let's square root our answer. Where's my answer button? There we go. Equals, and I'm going to land up with an answer. Whoa, look at that horrible answer. 0.5656854249. Now, we expected a horrible answer. We expected a comma, something. Why? Because the examiner said round to 1 decimal place, and that's what we're going to do. So it's going to be 0.56, 0.6. And 0.6 what? 0.6 meters. We got another part to do, but I think we're going to take an ad break.
I think so. That'll be a good idea. So guys, I'm seeing more and more posts on the events page. I'm loving it. I can't wait to give these CDs and these books away. So guys, just keep on posting. Do not give up. Post on the page. And guys, look out for the actual question in the ad break. So guys, make sure you got your eyes peeled and you're paying attention. But for me, we're going to see you after this break. Welcome back, Mindsetters. I hope you had a nice little break. You went and did whatever you had to do. You had to go to the bathroom. You went to the bathroom, did your thing. You came back and you are paying attention. Pens and pads out. Make sure you guys are writing notes. And guys, it's the last... I'm back. Second dash for you guys to get those questions in. There is 3 minutes left in the competition. If you don't get it in the next 3 minutes... I'm sorry, you lost your chance to win these prizes. But guys, make sure you get on the page, SMS, and you guys can also email on win@learnextra. And the SMS number, guys, do not forget, write this down: 08344888810. I'm gonna say it again: 08344888810. Guys, keep SMSing in. And guys, I'm gonna hand over to Peter. Peter, take it away.
All right, great. And we've got still quite a bit to do before we announce the winners to that. But remember, you had 3 minutes left. It's now down to about 2 minutes and 20 seconds or 19 seconds or 18 seconds. You get the idea. Okay. Now, just before the break, we worked out that the length of this side of our triangular placemat was 0.6 meters. We were told that's 400 millimeters, which is 0.4 meters. We're told this side is 400 millimeters, which is also 0.4 meters, or 400 millimeters, 0.4 meters. Now the question says, the worker would like to put fancy edging on the placemats. Calculate the total length of edging in meters that would be required per placemat. And guys, that's straightforward. Hey, that's a perimeter question. So I've got 0.4 meters plus 0.4 meters plus 0.6 meters. So all we're going to say is, well, the perimeter is going to be 0.4 meters plus 0.4 meters plus 0.6 meters. So on our calculator, and again, you wouldn't really need a calculator for this, but you know what? Rather use a calculator than make a silly mistake. 0.4 plus 0.4 plus 0.6 equals, and voila, there's our answer, 1.4 meters. So my answer is going to be 1.4 meters. That's how much edging I will need for every placemat that I make. Okay, my next question, and remember our competition time is almost over. I think we're down to about a few seconds. Right, but let's have a look at this question first. Gugu and her best friend Zama entered a TV game show. They were asked by the director to randomly select a ball out of a black holder containing 3 yellow balls, 4 red balls, and 2 orange balls. The shape of the bag was conical in shape.
Conical,
right?
yes.
Yeah. Okay, it sounds comical. All right. Information about the cone and the sphere is given below. So there it is. We're given this bit of information. Guys, when you're given this information, remember, you are going to use it. No examiner will give you information unless it's required. So I know at some stage I'm going to have to calculate the volume of the cone. I know at some stage I'm going to have to calculate the volume of the sphere. All right? I know that. Why? Because it's given to me as one of the formulas. All right, so here's our question. if the cone holder has a height of 40 centimeters and the radius of the base is 20 centimeters, calculate the volume of the holder. Give your answer to the nearest whole number. Now, the fact that they're telling you to give it your answer to the nearest whole number, you know you're not going to get a whole number in your answer, and you're going to have to round it off. Okay, so what's the volume for a cone? There it is, and let's write that down. Volume is equal to 1/3 multiplied by pi, and we're told again to use pi as 3,14, multiplied by the radius, multiplied by the height. Okay, so let's do this question. So our volume is equal to 1/3 multiplied by pi, which is 3,14, multiplied by the radius, and we told the radius is 20 centimeters, and we're going to square that, multiplied by my height, and the height is 40 centimeters. Now, folk, our calculator is just going to do all that work for us. So let's take out our calculator, and we're going to say, here we go. We've got 1/3, so it's 1/3 multiplied by 3.14, which is our pi, multiplied by 20 centimeters squared, multiplied by 40, and our answer, there it is. Whoa, my giddy aunt, 16,746,666. So we are going to remember 16,747. We round it off. Okay, 16,747. 16,747 centimeters cubed. Okay. Why cubed? Because it's volume. Right, next one. If the colored balls each had a radius of 5 centimeters, calculate the volume of a ball, giving your answer to the nearest whole number. So, the volume of a sphere is 4/3 times pi times r cubed. So, we're going to say volume is 4/3 times pi times r cubed. So we've got 4/3. Instead of pi, I'm putting 3,14. The radius, I'm told, is 5 centimeters. So we got 5 centimeters, and we're going to cube it. Why are we going to cube it? Because the formula tells us to cube it. And when the formula tells you to do something, you just do it. All right. So here we go. Clear our calculator. We've got 4/3 multiplied by 3.14 multiplied by 5 cubed equals, and there's my answer, 523,33. Again, we were told to the nearest whole number. So we're going to remember 523. So 523 centimeters cubed. Okay. So we've worked out that the bag has a volume space of 16,747 centimeters cubed. We've worked out that each ball takes up a space of 523 centimeters cubed. I bet the next question is going to say, all right, if I put all the bags in, how much space is the balls going to take, or how much space is left over? Let's read the question. Determine the amount of space left in the plastic holder if all the balls were placed inside the holder. Okay, so we've got all our balls. They're 523 centimeters cubed. How many of these balls do I have? Let's go right to the question again. Okay, and it says we have 3 yellow, 4 red, 2 orange. Okay, so how many balls is that? 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 2 is 9. So I've got 9 balls. So the volume that those balls take up is going to be 523 multiplied by 9 equals 4,707. 4,707 707 centimeters cubed. That's the volume of space that all those 9 balls is going to take. Now, how much space was in the bag? Do you remember we did it over here? And we said it was 16,747 centimeters cubed. 16,747. 16,747 centimeters cubed. Now, if the balls take up 4,707 centimeters cubed, how much space is actually left? Well, let's have a look at it. So we've now got 16,700, let's do that, 16,747 minus 4,707 equals, and we get our answer of 12,040. 12,040 centimeters cubed of space is left over. So, that's not too tough, eh? That's a nice paper 1 type of question, right? Because the examiner's taking you and working you through the question, asking you for one answer, then asking you for another answer, and then asking you for a final answer. And to get that final answer, you've used your first 2 answers. Now, the difference in a paper 2 would be the examiner wouldn't step it for you. He wouldn't ask you for that answer and then that answer and then the final answer. Paper 2, the examiner would just ask you for the final answer. And you would have to know, I've got to calculate that, then that, to get my final answer. Right. Our competition's closed, I think.
Yes, that is true. So right now, we are in the process of actually finding the winners, sifting through all of the comments that we had, their SMSs, their emails. So I'm thinking I'm going to announce it probably in the last, let's say, 5 minutes or so of the show.
Last 5 minutes
yeah,
or so.
we'll give you a chance to actually go through the question and actually get the mindsetters to know what the answer was.
Okay, so then I've got 2 minutes to tackle another question quickly, and it's a very, very long question, this. I don't know how far we're going to get at all, but we'll try a little bit of it, and then what will happen is I'll go through that challenge question, see how we got the answer, and then we can announce the winners. All right, so let's have a look at this question. This was a question that came up, I think it was in about the 2010 final IEB paper. Let's have a look. The diagram below shows the basic outlay of a rectangular garden. There is a triangular sandpit in the bottom left-hand corner and a circular pond in the middle of the garden. The diagram is not drawn to scale. Oh my goodness, folk, that is so important. Eh? We have matrics that kind of say, well, if that distance is 12 and that one's a little bit shorter, it looks about, oh, we'll pretend it's 6. You're not allowed to do that. Not if they tell you the diagram is not drawn to scale. Okay, so here we have a basic outlay of a garden. You can see there's a pond in the middle and a sand pit on the left-hand corner. It's a triangular sand pit and it's a circular pond. Right, our question is, the owner of the garden wants to erect a low wire fence around the pond as shown in the diagram below. He needs to calculate the length of fencing that he must buy. The following needs to be taken into account. The area of the entire garden is 840 meters squared. The pond takes 2.5% of the garden, and the distance between the fence and the pond must be uniformly 20 centimeters, as shown in the diagram. Okay? The following formula may be used in order to answer the questions below. All right. So we've got the circumference, the area, and we're told that pi must be 3.14. All right. Folks, this was a really, really phenomenal question and a tough one. We're not going to have time to do it, but I'm just going to tell you what we had to do. What we basically had to do is we were told the whole area of the entire garden. We then had to find 2.5% of that whole area to work out the area of the pond. We then had to put that into our formula to try and find out the actual radius of the pond. Sure, it was a tough question. It was really, really tough. I think I'm going to have to tackle it in one of our Thursday sessions to really give this question some justice. In the meantime, I've been told we've got to go across to our winter question. Oh my goodness, that's not it. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. So here was our challenge question. Let's have a look. The volume of a rectangular prism with a length of 5 centimeters, a breadth of 2 centimeters, and a height of 10 centimeters is. Okay. Folk, volume of a rectangular prism. Okay. You know my formula is volume is equal to length times breadth times my height. Okay. Why? Because a rectangular prism has got a length, okay, it's got a breadth, and it's got a height. There it is there. Okay, my diagrams aren't that great, but you get the idea. It's like a block of wood. And we told that this particular block of wood, as it were, has a length of 5 centimeters. So let's write that in. 5 centimeters. A breadth of 2 centimeters. 2 centimeters. And a height of 10 centimeters. Now we're asked to calculate the volume. So we are going to say 5 times 2 times 10, and we get an answer of 100. Okay, so we've got an answer of 100. Now this, I think, is what caused a lot of problems to a lot of our viewers. Because our viewers said, 100, we've got it, it's A. Okay, but if you look further down, you see another 100. 160 we know is just not on. So our answer is either A or C, but they're both 100. But let's look at the units. A is 100 centimeters squared. C is 100 centimeters cubed. What are we trying to find? Volume. And folk, when we're finding volume we know is cubed. So my answer has to be 100 centimeters cubed, which is C.
Yes. And there is the answer, and I see people have been dying to get this answer down. So guys, thank you so much for entering. Make sure you stick around, because we're still going to be doing a lot of this during the winter school programs. And I just want to say to Wadajo, Sajo, Ramdor, congratulations all the way to Durban. You are winning all this stuff. This awesome stuff will be sent to you. Congratulations, and thanks for SMSing the answer in. And I hope you do not just, this is a one-time thing. I hope you stick around and you keep posting on our page. You keep interacting with us on Facebook. And mindsetters, do not forget to keep chatting on the page. This winter school program has been set up for you guys to keep interacting with each other and learn more. Is there anything else you want to add?
Yes, Ty. I just want to know, every day this week, there's a different subject at this time. Agreed? And so every day, folk, you have the opportunity by engaging to win these prizes. Okay, so it's not just for today. Tomorrow there's another session going on, and again there'll be a challenge question. And I know what the challenge question is, but I'm not allowed to tell you. And then on Wednesday there's another one, on Thursday and Friday, and then next Monday back to Maths Lit. Yeah. And Maths Lit, there's another challenge question. And remember, every time you answer that, Ty, just clear this up. They don't just win the T-shirt or just win the disc
CDs, and
they win one of everything.
One of everything.
So a T-shirt, a
book,
DVD, and the book.
Exactly.
Guys, you know what, hey? You can't get a better deal than that. You really can't. And all you've got to do is just listen and post your answers. Guys, that's time up for me. I want to say thanks very much for spending your afternoon with me. Ty, over to you.
Yes, and on that note, guys, as I said, keep chatting on the page, keep talking, and guys, you can win these awesome prizes. There's sessions in the morning and in the afternoon, so it doubles your chances. But for me, I'm going to say cheers and see you next time.